So hey everyone, thanks for joining us again for a session with Office of Professional Development and Curriculum here at BCIU. Today we're going to talk about working with video, so some tips and tricks for distance learning. This is a great opportunity to pull in some uses of video to support your online learning endeavors with your students. So we're going to talk about why video can be a helpful tool during this time, talk about creating and sharing videos with the ability also to create screencasts of your desktop or an application that you'd like to show to students. And we'll look at various platforms to do that. So web-based versions, Windows, Mac, and mobile devices as well. Trying to hit a well-rounded audience and keep in mind what you might have access to at home. So for video of the whys behind it, definitely at this time with the focus on social emotional learning and keeping relationships maintained, video options are great for class meetings and for check-ins, for community and culture building, and just to allow students the opportunities to stay connected with one another and with their teachers. Video can be very useful for supporting instruction. Now that a couple of weeks have gone by for some districts in the online learning space, we're getting some feedback from parents saying, you know what, we love having all of the activities and the assignments, but honestly, we'd also like to have some instruction. And so teachers are turning to short video clips to help with that, whether they're creating them themselves or whether they're finding them from other reputable sources. So running synchronous lessons, mini lessons, small group instruction, creating screencasts, having different multimedia types of instructional materials can be really helpful with video. And then for student creations, showcase learning with video responses, screencasts, so the students themselves can take advantage of the video platforms to show their learning and submit project work that way. So we're going to take a look at two Chrome extensions, and if you've attended any of the screencasting sessions that we've offered in our on-demand section, Kevin Andreo did a session just about Screencastify. Josh Hoyt offered one on Loom, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I did a screencasting for noobs session that goes through a number of these different screencasting tools that you can take advantage of, most of which are free to use, especially at this time. But I'll demo for you these two today. Screencastify, which could not be simpler. It's the first tool I recommend to people who are new to this space, just because it's so easy to create a video and share it. Essentially, you have one-click recording options that can record your screen, can record through your webcam, so to record your face or your student's face, or both. And you can also, what my favorite part about Screencastify is that it syncs to Google Drive. So in this instance, you're not having to mess around with any types of video actual files. They just sync to Google Drive, and you can share any of these ways. You can share right to Google Classroom. You can publish your video to YouTube if you're forming a collection right now or a channel. You can embed it somewhere, and there are download options as well. Now, I do pay for premium Screencastify, and right now they are offering, I believe, premium through the end of the school year, maybe June. It is a very affordable subscription, and it's one of the only tools that I do pay for on a yearly basis. So we'll look at that. If you are at the space where you are exporting video, it does download as an MP4, which you can do other things with. And then we'll take a look at Soapbox, which is very similar. It runs as a Chrome extension. It offers a one-click record. You can, I put a little screen capture down there. You can show your screen. You can pull out your webcam video. And you can also build out side-by-side views. So what I'm seeing down below is how it breaks the view into thirds, and I'll show you what that looks like in a finished video. You can share all the videos via link, easy to do. And if you pay for a premium subscription, which I do not, you can download the video as well. So let's take a look at those two options. I need to pull out this guy here. All right, so let's pretend that I'm going to record something. Probably should have just grabbed something here. So here are my extensions, and they live here. All right. If you've never installed a Chrome extension, or you're not familiar with what a Chrome extension is, the Chrome Web Store is the home to all things Chrome extensions. So you can just Google Chrome Web Store. It's chrome.google.com/web store. And there's a whole category of extensions. Now they're recommending a bunch of them for me. Loom does operate an extension as well, but it also downloads as an app, which is why I included it later in the session. So if you wanted to add Screencastify to your device, to your Chrome account, you would search Screencastify, and right here you'll see a button, a blue button. It'll say add to Chrome, and that's what you do. Now I have associated a Google account with my Screencastify account because I want to sync all my videos to a folder in Google Drive. It's called Screencastify. So it couldn't be easier. It does that for you. So here's what I'm going to screencast. This very great lesson. So click. I am going to make sure I choose the microphone that I want to pull from, make sure I choose the webcam that I want to pull from, and then I can click record. If I want to do my desktop, if I want to record just one single tab of the browser, I can also do that. And if I only want to shoot video out of my webcam, then I would choose the third option. But I'm going to choose record. It's going to show me the little preview window in the bottom. I can move that window to a different position, I believe, wherever it's not going to be in the way for you. And so then I click here to tell Screencastify I want to record this screen, click share, and now I am sharing my screen when the countdown is complete. So hey everyone, welcome to class today. This is your lesson. I'm going to talk through it and teach you things. So as I can see, there's a red button. I think you can see that on the Screencastify extension to let me know that I am recording. It says down here, you're sharing your screen. Here's my face. And when I'm all done with my session, I simply head back up here, click the extension. I can pause it, like if my 4-year-old runs in and needs me, I can pause it. I can go backwards a bit, I can trash it, or I can click stop. And when I'm done with my recording, it's me, here I am. I'm just gonna pause that for a minute. Now up here, I can give it a title. So lesson Monday, April 20th, whatever it is. And now here are my sharing options. For Google Drive, I copy my shareable link. So it's working on processing through Google Drive. And then here are my other options. And since I have premium, here are some download options. Now, editor, you can trim. I haven't used the editor for a while because I typically just roll with it and publish when I'm publishing. But they do have trimming options. You can merge and clip and things together. It will actually it will edit any video, not just Screencastify videos, but you can see down here, I can crop my tools and things like that. So that's all here. There's also an area in the Screencastify platform where you can see all of your recordings in addition to that folder being built. I know this is an exciting history of my life in Screencastify. So they're all here for you. You can trash any at any time. And the nice thing about free or premium Screencastify is there's no limits on the length of the video. For a free version, I believe you're capped at 5 minutes. Honestly, no one's watching longer than 4.5 minutes, so you'll be safe there. So that's Screencastify. We've got Soapbox next as a Chrome extension, and I'm going to sign in. I haven't signed in for a while here at Soapbox. I think I do a Google sign in here. So now that I'm signed in, again, it recognizes me. I can go to a space. I can see all my videos. So here's that triplicate piece I was talking about. It's finding my webcam. I can click Start Recording. Again, I have to click the window that I want to start recording, click Share. It's 3, 2, 1. And now I can see my Soapbox icon has turned into a red recording blinking light. Chrome is alerting me that Soapbox is recording my screen. So today, when you want to use the Explore tool, I'll teach you how. Go to the Explore tool, use your keyword search of giraffe. And when you go to images, you can actually use these images as copyright friendly images. This one's from publicdomainpictures.net. So there's a mini lesson in one. Okay, so now I'm done with my video. I'm gonna click stop. Soapbox prepares my recording. And so this is that cool side-by-side. This is not cool. This is a side-by-side feature I was talking about. And down at the bottom, I choose, do I want to see side-by-side? Do I just want to see full screen? Or do I just want to see me, which is exciting for all of you. So maybe you start the lesson with just you to say hello. And as you drag along here, this is some trimming, but every time I put a little, I don't want to trim that. Every time I put a little click, I can then split the screen. If I click here, maybe now I want to go full screen, click here. I really want them to listen to what I have to say. So I want to cue their attention on my face. Click here, and you can change this throughout the whole video. And then I'm going to wrap by showing them my face again. So now this video is being customized. Here's some more you can do. You can add your own, I don't know what this is, the color, I don't know. There's a thumbnail. Here's where you add the title. And then to share, here's the URL. And you can play it if you want to just make sure it looks the way you want it to look. And now I can see my Soapbox icon. So you'll see how it switches view when I do that. Chrome and so on. And so on. And so that's how fun it is. You can download here. I don't have the upgraded features. So I can't upgrade that, but it works perfectly wonderfully just sharing through a link. All right. So those are two screencasting video recording tools I recommend from Chrome extension land. Now, there are also a number of web-based platforms that will work on any device that will help you create video in different ways. And these are 3 that I would recommend you check out. One is Adobe Spark, and Adobe Spark is a creation tool that will allow you to pull together videos. You can even make web pages and graphics in a really easy to use way. Adobe Spark offers a free personal account if you would fall in love with it and want educational accounts for your students. They do offer subscriptions for education, and at this time I believe there's a really there's free access because of school closures. Adobe Spark allows you to bring in images, video. Here's some examples of student projects. All About Me. Here's a radical story. These are some kind of digital stories that students have created and that you could create as well. Oh, wants me to sign in. I don't know if I have a sign in. I don't think it's with this Gmail though. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let me go back here. I didn't want to sign in just to view it, friend. There's my birthday. Now you can all see how old I am, which is great. All right. I just signed up for a newsletter. All right, so in terms of video work, let's get a beautiful template started. So they have a lot of options here for the building. Let me go to projects, creative projects, videos. Here's a slideshow. So it'll walk you through like the whole process. I'll just write what they have to build out prompts. And then these are the templates for videos. So it might be like, this is more of a marketing video. This is a tell what happened. So like a narrative video. Show and tell might be good if you're doing an instructional video. And it'll walk you through the format of all of it. Here are some quick tips to get started. So you essentially add video, you add photo, you can add text overlays and underneath, and then you design out everything here. You can clip, and you just continue adding slides. So it's like a slides-based video creator. And then you can add text. You can change the order of your slides when you're all done. There's lots of themes. And they're nice, clean looking themes. So it's not anything outrageous that is going to kind of interrupt the flow of instruction for your students. You can change the orientation of it. And then you can record narration as well. So if you're highlighting some key points from content, you can either, you can record audio over top the whole thing once you have all of your slides in place. And there's also music background tracks if you're doing something more creative that are all built in there. And this is the video creator, so you can do split screen, caption, titles, and everything's down here. Now this template really has like a full-blown guide to getting started. What is it? Why? Show it? How? So it is a little lesson in digital storytelling as well. So Adobe Spark is a fun web-based tool to try out. In addition to Flipgrid, a lot of you have been experimenting with Flipgrid. Keeps video prompts and discussions around those videos all in one platform, so all in one place. And Flipgrid is 100% free. It's a Microsoft product now. You have to log in with either a Microsoft account or a Google account, same with your students. And there are tons of resources that Flipgrid has provided for the remote learning audience, where they have just given quick start guides, how to get started with Flipgrid in just 5 minutes. You essentially create these grids, and you provide a topic or a discussion prompt for the grid, and then you share the code with students. And using the little green plus sign here, you click and you can add your own video response. And sometimes people aren't comfortable being on video, which I totally understand. So it offers students the options to add little sticky notes or emojis over their face, or if they want to, not appear as themselves, they can kind of cartoon themselves up. So Flipgrid is a very useful tool, especially in this space. There are tons of options for each grade level or each content area as well. They made kind of these collections of ways to use it for these are subject specific areas. So let's say you're a social studies teacher and you work with 8 to 10-year-olds. Here are some ways that social studies could find use with the video in Flipgrid. Demonstrate knowledge of state history, discover world culture. So these are from the library. This is called Healthy Communities. And here we go. You'll be able to see what a grid looks like. I'm definitely using the wrong browser because I typically am logged into all of these on my other Google account. I'm gonna have to go delete all my extra accounts today. So here's what this looks like. Oh, not doing it. All right, let me launch that one again. Did you hear that email? It's welcoming me to Flipgrid. All right, so here's an image prompt, and then all of these things to think about. Describe this picture. When do you think it was taken? Which statement about the picture is a fact? The boys in the picture are all probably friends, blah, blah, blah. So read all of that. And then I can add this topic to one of my grids if I find that it's useful. So these are all different playlists that organizations and teachers have offered, which is pretty amazing. These are from the Met. So they're organizing, they're showcasing some of their work. They're giving a target audience and questions. You can add it to your grid and you can start using here some learning from homes. Now, as teachers do to get the kids' attention, they typically add like gifts to make kids interested, because who would not do this? So this is Would You Rather Math. Would you rather put $3 in the bank and have it triple each week, or put $4 in the bank and have it quadruple each week for 3 weeks? So you have to make a choice, and then you defend your reasoning with your video clip that you make, which is pretty cool. So that's Flipgrid. We do have 2 sessions all about Flipgrid in our on-demand offerings. So be sure you check those out as well if you're new to Flipgrid. And then the last kind of web-based video platform I would recommend is WeVideo. If you are working on a device, if you're working on Windows or if you're working on a Chromebook primarily, WeVideo is a pretty high functioning video editor that is completely web-based. You can record video, bring video clips in, add titles, transitions. They have royalty-free collections of music, background music, and actual video clips as well. WeVideo is offering support to schools that are affected by COVID closures. So if you want to pursue higher licensing than a free version, you can check that out. And they have a lot of download and share options. You can share it through multiple spaces, through YouTube, send it to Drive. You can download the video file, send it to Vimeo. So it has a lot of worth. Now, I don't use WeVideo very often because I'm a Mac user, so I use iMovie almost exclusively. But people who are deep in the web-based video community really get behind WeVideo and its value. So if you're checking out a new video platform, WeVideo works well for web-based. For my Windows using friends, I want to say I can offer a whole lot of recommendations, but at this point, you're looking at filming out of your camera app on Windows 10. You need to have the latest version of it to get the full functionality. I listed more about Windows Camera app here, kind of step by step how that can work for you. Honestly, I'd use the web-based Screencastify or Soapbox before I used anything on my Windows platform, but some people are very comfortable in that space. The video file formats that are produced through Windows Camera app are WMV or AVI files. So you'll find sometimes that your files are incompatible when you're uploading them to Drive or to YouTube or something. Just know the file types that are coming out of those spaces. And when you're sharing them, in some instances, it's hard for a parent or a student to view certain file types if they're not hosted through a link. So just keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is the more often you can share via a hosted link, the better, because you certainly don't want to be emailing any kind of files of video in this situation. There are huge file sizes. They don't translate well via email. So the more you can host them in places like Drive and YouTube, the better you're going to be. So on the Mac, if you happen to be a Mac user, you have a couple of options built in to your device. One of my favorites is QuickTime Player, and people don't often think about this because they think about QuickTime just being used to watch video that shows up on their device. But QuickTime is awesome for recording as well. If you hold on one second. Honey, can you turn that down? It's too loud. So when you're using QuickTime Player, I'll pull out here, I'll find it. When you launch it up at the top, you have under the file menu, you can do a new movie recording, which is going to record straight out of your webcam. You can record just straight audio with QuickTime, and you can also do a new screen recording. Now, what I learned the other day through my intense Twitter research is that you can do new movie recording. It's going to pull up your face. Now, also, if you ever need to record your iPhone or your iPad, if you go to QuickTime Player, plug in your device with a hard wire, and then go to File, New Movie Recording. And right here where you choose the video source, your device will show up on this list, your iPad or your iPhone, and you will essentially be recording the contents of your iPad or iPhone, which is pretty cool. So now I brought up a new movie recording, which is going to record me as the teacher, but I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to click Float on Top. And that's going to keep my movie recording window up on top. Now I'm going to go to File, New Screen Recording, and I'm going to record my entire screen while my face is on top. So I can do like this little side-by-side action of walking my kids through content while also seeing me for that personal touch. So right now it's recording the slides that I'm going through. I can jump out on the web. It's still seeing me. Hi kids, I miss you. And so we have everything there kind of side by side. So let me stop that. And now here's my finished screencast. I know I have like 100 windows open. So here's my finished screencast. So you're essentially seeing my little movie recording screen view float on top, and then I'm going side by side on my device. Okay, let me put this back big. I put some links here for how to record your screen, how to trim movie or clips, because after you're done with your QuickTime recording, you can trim it up. And these are the sharing options that are built into QuickTime. One of the things I will say to you Mac users is that these files can be ginormous depending on the year your MacBook was or your Mac was created and what version you're running of the operating system. My QuickTime files are huge because my camera is really high quality, and so I can't easily share them without uploading them somewhere. I almost always upload them to YouTube for that purpose. Or if I need to do more editing work with them, then I download them and I save them and I bring them into iMovie. But there are instances where if you have a quick little something you want to send out in an email, then okay, but just be wary of the file size. For Mac videos, you're looking at MP4 as the extension for the file type, or MOV for QuickTime MOV. And I'm not going to show you iMovie. That's probably a whole other session for really just applicable to Mac users. But it also works on an iPhone. If you have access to an iPhone, iMovie is a fun little tool to use. It's certainly more, it's easier to use on a full-blown device. But you can record video right from there. You can import slides or images and then record voiceover for them if you want to talk through something instructional for your students. Of course, you can add background tracks, things from GarageBand and the built-in Apple library. There's transitions, there's titles, there's all the kind of fancy movie making things that you might need. So what I often do in my workflow is I'll record on Screencastify or something, and if there are instances where I have to stop and tell my daughter to turn down her iPad, then I'll bring the things into iMovie and I'll cut it up and add a title and things. For sharing of iMovie, because again, you're looking at a really big file type, I either do one of two things. I either send it straight to YouTube, and essentially in iMovie, you just sign in with your YouTube account and then you can send it right there. It takes 20 minutes maybe for it to be fully processed. Sometimes I have more luck actually downloading the file as an MP4 and then uploading it to YouTube separately. And I'm not sure if that's a problem on my end or, if it's a problem talking from iMovie to YouTube. But I like sending all of our stuff to YouTube because I think it's easy for everyone to access. And I'm going to talk about YouTube and just making sure your settings are the way they need to be. And I'll show you how to upload something too. So when it comes to, multiple platforms for video, these three tools offer really good quality video work on a Mac or PC. So if you want to create video, some people have been kind of figuring out like, oh, we're all using Zoom right now. So I could go ahead and just start a meeting with myself and use the screen share, use the record feature as the host, and then you can record the meeting. So if you have a free version, again, you're looking at like a 40-minute meeting cap, but please don't record 40-minute videos and give them to your students. They're not going to watch them. And also, once you download that video, I can't show you my Zoom controls in your view, but there is a, record to the computer option or record to the cloud option. Now, I always choose record to the computer because I know my computer has enough space to make that happen. And I can then take that file and I can put it where I want to put it, which is usually YouTube. But you can also upload it to Google Drive. I've done that for private recordings that I only want to share with a select number of people and I don't want it out on YouTube. You can send it to OneDrive if that's how you're sharing things, or to YouTube. So consider using Zoom since so many of us are already using it. For Loom, which is another screencasting option, video recording option, they have an actual app that you can download from your store, if it's your Windows Store or your App Store on the Mac. And they also have it for iOS, so iPad and iPhone. And they also have a Chrome extension. So there's lots of ways to use Loom. I've used it a couple of different ways. Right now it is kind of living up here on my toolbar. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, you can. My top toolbar, because I installed it as an app on my device. You can record your screen plus the camera, or just the screen only, or just the camera only. So depending, again, a lot of these tools are similar. Here you can see, let me see if it pulls up. See that little circle down in the bottom left? So this is how we record some of our on-demand sessions. Instead of like running out a Zoom meeting, we'll just record it on Loom and then we'll update. I will say from my personal experience, I think it's really easy to use, but for some reason, my voice doesn't always match up with the video movement of my mouth. And it has only been happening to me with Loom. So I have to figure that out if it's a problem on my end or what. So, and then you just click start recording. Everything saves kind of to your Loom account, which mine is free. I've never paid for premium Loom, although I think they might be offering some free versions right now too for all educators if you want to check that out. It is super easy to use. And then the other option for multi-platform would be Camtasia. Camtasia, if you're all in with video, it's a product from TechSmith. They are the creators of things like the old Jing and Snagit. Camtasia is a really great tool. It's high quality. It's a screen recorder and a video editor. Runs on Mac or PC. It is a paid service, a paid subscription. So you would have to be committed to using this. But again, if you're totally in the video, then give it a shot. They do have free trials available, or you could see if you could get a lot of use out of it. So I wanted to mention that as well. So when it comes to creating video, lots of teachers are doing it right now on their phones because that's what they have access to. Or obviously the phone camera for newer devices is way better than some of the built-in webcams that are on our school-issued laptops. So on iOS, pull up your camera. Like I said, there's also an iMovie option that you could use. But I did want to remind you that when you're recording most video, you should hold your camera, hold your phone like this. So think of it as the way that your TV is oriented on your TV stand at home or hanging on your wall. It looks like this. You don't hang your TV like this. And when you're publishing your finished work, if you send a video that you shoot like this to YouTube, that's when you see those black bars on the side because your video is not filling up the space. So I wanted to include that reminder. This is how you shoot video in kind of landscape mode. This is a video. I think it's running. So I wanted to create that video on my camera. This is how you send it to Drive, because what I'd recommend is that if you have a Google for Education account, take your video on your iPhone, but then sign into Google Drive and send that out. So you're essentially using that little share button, the up share. And I signed into my school account. And I made this with the screen recorder, by the way. Don't forget that the newer versions of iPhones have that fancy screen recorder on your home page, so you can click that screen recorder and you can record your phone. So here I'm sending that video clip that I made on my phone. I'm sending it out to Google Drive, and then I can share that with a link to whoever I want to, or I can share it with an individual person. So it uploads that to the Drive. Not to mention, once I send that video to Drive, I can then, so again, it's this up arrow here. Once I send that video to Drive, that's a copy of the video. So if I want to clear out space on my phone, I can delete the original video once it's safely in Drive. Admittedly, I do not own an Android device of any kind, so I did link here how to record video, but the same deal applies, especially if that's a Google product. You have a direct link to Google Drive, and you could record with their camera app, send the video to Drive, send it to YouTube, however you want to record. So when it comes to sharing, which is kind of how the big questions are, how do I get things out to places where kids can access them or where parents can access them? What's the most efficient way? Because it really can be a drag to work with video. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially in the past, before there was all the cloud sharing, working with video was a big job. And now there's so many more streamlined ways to do it. So my recommendation, especially in schools that have Google for Education, when possible, send your stuff to Google Drive, because you have unlimited storage in your Google for Education account. You will not max out your storage. You'll start to notice if you're locally saving video on your MacBook or on your PC laptop that you got from school, you're going to start to max out your storage capabilities. But if you start to save everything to the cloud, you're not going to have that issue. You can then save every individual or share every individual file with your specific settings. If you want to do anyone with the link can view, or if you want to do, just share with this person, or just share in this Google Classroom, you can just add the link. Then you can add it to Google Slides. So there's lots you can do with it once it's in Drive. And I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to demo YouTube too. So for YouTube, again, we're sending lots of our stuff there to my school Google account, my channel. You can share them privately, meaning I can't just go into YouTube, search for, Mrs. Betzner's videos and try to find it. It's only going to be visible to somebody who has direct email address access to it. So one time I made a video of my son's first Christmas. I shared that with Jason, my husband, and I put his specific email address as the share person. He's the only person who could view it. Now you can also upload your videos and add them as unlisted. And what that means that if you share the link with somebody, that's the only person who can see it. The people who actually have the link, they can't find it by going to your YouTube channel and scrolling through your videos. So those are the ways that I recommend sharing them, especially in a learning situation. There are some enhanced features with editing in YouTube Studio, which has been kind of updated over the past couple of months. If you want to learn more about that, I linked there. But it is, if you're going to use YouTube, it's great to establish a teacher channel or playlists for your students. Maybe you have 5 video lessons in this one little mini unit and you want to kind of keep that all in one place. It makes sense to create a playlist and share it out that way. So let's go out to the YouTube and check out, and also Google Drive to show you kind of some of these things. Let me see if I have a folder. Oh, there's that one I just did. Okay, this is the movie, the QuickTime movie I just made. And let me just show you how easy it is to bring a movie into Drive if you saved it to your computer. So let me reload my Drive here. Fell asleep. All right, so I'm just going to go to my Drive. If you want to, you can, oh, Google, you need to have a better day here. Okay. I'm just going to, if you didn't know this, you have a couple options. You can go to the new button. This is making me nervous because I have a lot of Google work to do today. You can go to the new button and you can do new and you can do file upload. Let's see if my other Google accounts are more responsive. New, file upload, and you can go find the file. So here's the movie that I just had access to, and I can click open and I can bring that in. Or you can drag and drop into your Drive. So here's my file. I'm just going to drag and drop. See when it turns blue like that? That's initiating the upload. And down here, it says I'm starting your upload. Now for a video upload, this could take a good deal of time depending, again, on what platform you use. I use QuickTime because they're a little bit bigger files because they're higher quality. You can see the little guy spinning there. It might be another couple of minutes till that's fully uploaded, and then it could take a couple more minutes until it is fully processed, meaning no one can view it until you're ready to process it. In the meantime, let me look for an example here. Okay, so I want to, let me see what this is. Oh, this is, that was a 1 second every day. Okay, here's my niece's birthday, so that's very cute. My sister's probably super happy I'm showing this. Okay, so now here, share from the top right. And right here, I shared it specifically with my sister's account. But if you go to advanced, and then you can do change, anyone with the link can view is what you want to search for when you're sharing videos via link. Or if you're dropping things in Google Classroom, when you go in there, you can just search in for your movie. Here's one of my dogs. My first greyhound. This is a super old iMovie from like 2008. This is good times right here. Okay, so again, triple dots, share. You can get a shareable link so that anyone with the link can view it, or you can go into advanced and you can share it with a specific person. And if you ever want to change that, you can go into advanced and you can decide who gets access to that. All right. Now, a YouTube upload, I've already created my channel. That's the first thing you want to do when you get to YouTube in your school account. If you have not gone to this top right area and established a channel, set it up, it just wants to verify your email address. You need to go in and do that, especially before you can upload longer videos. So if you go to this little video guy here, you can start a YouTube live session if that's something fun you want to do. Or my option that I almost always choose is upload video. When you get to the upload video page, you can either, again, click to select a file that you want to bring into YouTube, or what we typically do is just drag and drop it in and let it upload. Now, YouTube has undergone some changes with its privacy situations. I'm just going to call this example video upload. You can put your description here. You can choose a specific thumbnail for the video, which is the picture you see when you visit the video on YouTube. If you don't choose a specific thumbnail, it will just randomly assign one for you. You can assign it to a playlist. So I've been creating a playlist called OPDC Team Support. Here is the big part you want to pay attention to, because you now have to say, is this video for kids or is it not for kids? Because if it is for kids under 13, you are required to comply with COPPA to make sure everything in your video is appropriate, which of course it will be. You can restrict it to an adult audience or not. And I don't think you'll need to do that. So then more options are things like promotion or product placement, which you have to disclose. Tags, you can do like tag algebra. Video language for closed captioning. You can do that. You can also upload specific subtitles or closed captioning that you write yourself if you're interested in that. Recording date, when did you record it? Where was the location? You don't have to do this. But one thing you may want to do is look at the comment section. Do you want to allow comments? Do you want to hold potentially inappropriate comments for review? Or do you just want to disable comments altogether? And sometimes teachers do that. It'll show thumbs up or thumbs down for the video unless you uncheck that. When you're done, click next. YouTube could be its own session, and maybe I'll do that in the future. There are things like you could add cards, you could add end screens, and you can decide here. Hold on one second, Avery. Here's where you decide, do you want the video to be public? Anybody will be able to view it and find it on your channel. Do you want it to be unlisted, where only people with the link can see your video? Or do you want it to be private? Only people you choose by email address can see your video. This is an example of what it looks like. Here's the actual link that you could copy and paste in Google Classroom or copy and paste in a parent email, whatever you need. You can schedule it to go live on a certain date and time. And then they're also telling you, again, do kids appear in the video, making sure that you're protecting minors, and they have more information about community guidance. So then when you click save, it's going to list here on your video list. Here's where you see the visibility. Here's where you see the date that was uploaded, how many views your video had. We check this out because we like that you guys are coming to see our videos. So we like to see how many hits we got. And then that's kept all in your space, in your video space. All right. So that's how easy it is to upload to YouTube as well, straight from YouTube into YouTube. So I listed a number of other resources for you to check out as you are learning more about using video in your distance learning adventures. And again, thanks for joining me this morning. I didn't really look at the chat to see if there was a whole lot of questions going on there, but I don't see any. But I will open it up for questions when I stop the recording. Make sure that you visit bit.ly/cc virtual feedback to get your Act 48 credit and give us feedback on the session in that form. And thanks. Reach out with any questions to Lynn Hill at berksiu.org. I'm going to stop the recording.